essential 5 responsibilities for any founder or co-founder: the good, the bad, and the ugly. What is risks for business? Teams would be exhausted, people would be exhausted, they would lose motivation, and good products done by good people for good people. At the end of this video, I would point 2 of my favorites out of these 5. You have a great, brilliant idea for startup, or somebody called you to join startup, or you already joined a startup and thinking about this: is it worth of my time to stay with them, or I need to switch to some fancy job in Facebook or Google or whatever. So here is 5 essential points to evaluate the state of the things and potentially decide is it worth to stay on this track or change and adjust something. And this essential 5 responsibilities for any founder or co-founder who need to take care about this from very beginning. So at the end of this video, I would point 2 of my favorites out of these 5, but in general, like for any type of team, company, startup, these 5 items, even for corporation, they are valid. First and essential part of any startup and any activities: idea and vision. This essential piece which should be clear and stable. Also, it needs to be well articulated and well communicated to every person who is involved in these activities. Global vision and idea need to be reflected in daily responsibilities of employees, so they should be clearly linked to what you are doing, what your colleagues, co-founders, or employees doing every day. And there are some examples about idea definition. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good idea: stable, well articulated, and aim to change something in the world around us, to do something important, valuable, which would affect lives of multiple people. The bad idea, surprisingly, is money. So it's very hard to explain to every single person who is working in a company, on a product, what is his portion of contribution into the big income of the company, how they could influence from their position on company income, especially if the process is some multi-level process, a lot of departments involved, a lot of people involved, and how to explain, for instance, to post office how important their things in order to bring some big idea implemented, or what the contribution of other teams in this area. So it's quite difficult. However, if you would create a formula and explain to everyone, so we potentially might have another question. So as far as we contribute in this amount of money to a company, so let's define how it would be reflected in our pay slips. So it might be, it might not be, but it needs to be aware. So this was a bad idea, money. And the ugly idea. The ugly idea is unstable idea. Today we are doing thing A. Everyone needs to put all his effort to do this and stay day and night available for producing these type of things. And tomorrow we are doing things B, and thing A not really required, it was a mistake. So then thing C, D, and A again, and and mixing of these goals. So at the very end, teams would be exhausted, people would be exhausted, they would lose motivation, and at the very end it would affect any startup, any activities from pretty negative perspective. So we should avoid ugly ideas and keep ideas clear and stable. The second thing is marketing. So of course there are a lot of resources and articles and some books about marketing. So I wouldn't try to touch this deeply, but I will tell you my story about marketing. So 20 years ago, I was in a team which created a magazine. It was one of a kind on our market. Cool magazine, people were loving it. It has symbolic price for readers, and major income was expected from advertisers. What was our plan? We would create a cool product, cool magazine, and advertisers would like to put their budgets, put their money on to collaborate with us and make their products more popular across our readers. So what happened in reality? Did any advertiser come to us? No. Maybe they were happy when we approached them and told us, okay, we are ready to put our budgets right now. No. So at the end, we appeared in a queue with other media such TV programs, some sort of newspapers, radio programs, websites to get such budgets, and we had to spend some effort, even did some researches in order to ensure advertisers how efficient we are and what our benefits in comparison with other media sources, media products. What's the conclusion of this story? So the reality is cruel, and a lot of different companies, products, services, food makers, detergent makers, fighting for our attention, to bring our attention to their products. Our informational field are oversaturated, and if some stranger coming to you like first time and saying, oh, okay, I have some excellent product, would you like to try it? Especially if it's not free. So your first reaction probably wouldn't be really positive. So and as a result, marketing need to be done properly. It need to be done even ahead of development, ahead of your significant activities. You need to start to evaluate how the people react on this market. They need to be familiar. You look at the big players on the market. So what they usually doing? They doing information leakages in order to see what would be reaction, or put some hints, or they keep some interest to their products till the real release. So the same should be happening with your product, and you need to put proper attention. You need to make demos. You need to make some samples. Participate in different type of public activities in order to expose your system, your brand, your service to other people, even if it was not released. The third essential part is technologies. So there are two types of technologies. Some technologies belongs to product or service, which helps to produce products efficiently, and another type of technologies is infrastructural. So technologies which helps you to run company, to do some daily routine, to track any type of activities and so on and so forth, communicate with people. And both of those technologies need to be properly addressed, and they have like big influence on what we would get in the result. With good setup, people would be happy with, and they would perform really well. It would help them to do their job. With bad technologies, of course, they would spend a lot of time on different type of cluttering, and at the very end, so we shouldn't expect any outstanding results from them. Item number 4 in this list of essential responsibilities is risk management. What is risks for a business or for a startup? It's any type of deviation from expected behavior. So there are only 5 items: financial risk, operational risk, strategic risk, compliance risk, and reputational risk. There is a quite small list, only 5 items, but those items sometimes could be quite painful for startups, and especially when you're limited with a budget, you cannot keep dedicated roles for each of those directions. So would be great to know what kind of temporary options or kind of outsource options you know or using in your company, and how it could improve state of things for early startups on early stages. Item number 5 is human resource management. So there are 2 aspects here: talent acquisition and culture and policy definition and implementation. So both of them are important, and company wouldn't grow, products would not be released without people. If the people talented, if they're happy, they're on good positions, on their positions, of course it would have positive impact on the product and success and the company. If there are some tensions and collisions, of course company would be struggling to achieve desired goals and so on and so forth. So that is that last 5th item. As I promised at the beginning, there is my top 2 list of responsibilities. So if you have another opinion, put your comments down below, and seems like it would be interesting discussion later on. So number 1 in my list is vision and idea. So it gives a direction for all company or for all product, and important from very beginning, from early stage. And the second thing is human resource management. Good products done by good people for good people, and I hope your team, your company has plenty of them, so such people working on your services and products. That's it. In this video we just touched essential responsibilities of founders and co-founders. These are vision and idea, marketing, technology, risk management for product and company, and human resource management. If you have any hot questions, or if you would need to explore something which was not mentioned here, put your comments down below, subscribe to my channel, and we will evaluate this in next videos.